I remember when I was back at your house in San Diego, and you mentioned that you found Kevin Mitchell. Tell me a little bit more about him.
Well, we had a Met ball club in the Winter League in San Diego, and would play in San Diego and Los Angeles. And several of the kids that were in the organization brought different ball players to work out with us and play on Sundays. Well, one of the ball players brought a kid named Kevin Mitchell to me, and I liked the size of him. Well-built individual, had a painter cap on with the bill turned up. He had a t-shirt way too tight, had black pants with an orange stripe down there. He had spikes with no spikes on the bottom of them. And I asked him, what do you play? And I knew I was lost right after he answered that. He said, I can play anything. Well, okay, this is not going to be a big deal. So I needed a third baseman that day, so I put him at third base. We take infield, and he's out over there. Well, you know how the outfield throws 2 to second and 2 to home from left field. No problem. But the center fielder now throws 2 to third base and 2 home. Kevin doesn't know the ball's coming to third base, and it hits him right in the hairline, from the hairline to the forehead, right there. The painter's cap that's turned up, and he got a little knot on it. Oh my goodness, gee whiz, this isn't right. So then the right fielder, he doesn't know the right fielder's coming to third base also, and we had a kid named Workus who could throw and hit Kevin right in the chest in the air. Hey, I can't use you today, son. I can't. I'm all right. And he's hurt, I know, but he's not saying a word. Big, strong kid. He plays the ball game that afternoon, and I'm a little scared, a little skeptical. He crunches the ball pretty good. Oh, pretty good day. Next week, we need a catcher. Can you catch? Yeah, I can catch. So I have him down in the bullpen, and instead of catching the ball when the ball's outside, away from the catcher, he's sticking his leg out to block the ball. Oh, I got to get him out of there, so I put him in the outfield. He hits again. The third week, he hits some bombs once more. So I call my boss out of L.A., Roger Jungwirth, and I said, we got a prospect down here. You've got to come down and see him play. So we're playing San Diego State under the lights during the week. And it's at twilight time. And if you ever played it under the lights, it's different at twilight time. You don't see the ball that good. Well, Kevin, in the meantime, has not struck out. He's hitting everything thrown. First time up, there's several scouts in the stands from the Met organization, and he strikes out. And I hear him in the stands, Olson brought us down here for this. Next time up, he grounds out. But Stark now, third time up, he crunches one off the left center field fence. And the fourth time up, he hits one off the far gate over the fence in the gym at San Diego State College. They come right out of the stands. They sign him right then and there. Right then and there.
Wow.
To a contract.
So he was pretty much raw when you found him.
Raw, that's putting it mildly. His dad wouldn't let him play high school baseball because he had so many tickets. He drove those mopeds around in San Diego, and he had something like 30, 40 tickets. But he's the nicest kid on 2 feet, but you didn't fool, he was a street kid. And he could handle his fist real good.
So who is your, back to the autographs a little bit, who was your favorite person you met that you got an autograph from?
Oh, Mantle had to be right up there. Mantle, Ted Williams, great. Bucky Harris, the manager. Roger Hornsby, he was managing the Seattle Veneers when I was a ball boy for my second year as a bat boy, ball boy, clubhouse boy. I was a ball boy, and I was over in the visiting dugout, and he was all by himself looking over the rail, and I was talking to him. And I said, do you think anybody will ever beat your record of averaging 405 years? And he looked at me like, who are you? And he says, probably not, just like that. And he was direct to the point, but he liked me because I talked to him a couple times, and I said, I see pictures of you where you stood deep in the box, way in the corner, and you went into everything. How come guys don't like that, don't do that today? And here I'm only like 14 years old. And he really enjoyed that because he had ball players that didn't take an interest in the history of the game. And they remained aloft from Hornsby a lot because he was very outspoken. But I got along great with him. He was as nice as could be to me. I asked him for a ball. He would sign a ball for me. Sign it right away. But he wouldn't sign autographs. In fact, his ball players wouldn't look in the stands. Really. They were out there for practice. They were on the field. They were dedicated to that game of baseball. right there. He wouldn't let anybody talk to anybody in the stands, no matter who it was. The President of the United States could have been there. He wouldn't allow them to talk to him.
Wow.
And I did the same thing when I was managing the minor leagues. So, because of Hornsby. I loved Hornsby, I did. I liked Mel Ott. What a gentleman. Oh, perfect gentleman in every sense of the word.
When did you meet him?
He was managing the Oakland Oaks, and I was bat boy of the Padres in '49. And he was a great guy. He'd take batting practice with him. Lefty O'Doul would do the same thing. Oh, these guys were retired, and they'd still swing the bat. And these ball players in the Coast League for years would stop and watch. You know, these old timers. They'd crank one right after the other.
Wow. I remember, didn't you meet Ty Cobb?
Yes, he was in the stands. One day, somebody said, we're playing in Omaha, and somebody said, Ty Cobb's in the stands. So I looked, and he's about third or fourth row up in the grandstand. So we're taking batting practice, and I left the field. I went in to ask the manager if I could have a ball. What do you want a ball for? Well, I'd like to get Ty Cobb's autograph. What do you want his autograph for? Because he played against Cobb, years ago. And so he gave me a ball. So I went to the gate. I walked up the stair with my uniform and spikes on. I said, Mr. Cobb, can I get your autograph? What's your name? I said, Ed Olson. To Ed, Ty Cobb, 1954. Just the nicest guy, and everybody talks really bad. They don't give him a good rap. But to me, he was the nicest guy on 2 feet.
Did you ever meet Joe DiMaggio?
Yes, several times also.
Didn't you met,
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Yes, she was in the car outside. I was a clubhouse boy at the time in 1953. And there was a knock on the back door. I was cleaning up the clubhouse before I went out and watched the ball game. Lefty O'Doul was the manager for the San Diego Padres at the time. Well, he was Joe DiMaggio's first manager, if you remember, in San Francisco.
The Seals, right?
The Seals.
Yeah. And
they were the best of friends all their lives. So I heard the knock on the door. I opened it up, and wow, Joe DiMaggio. And I want to see Lefty. Yes, sir. So I opened the door, and I told him to come in, and I ran down the ramp to the dugout, and I says, Mr. O'Doul, Joe DiMaggio's in San Diego. I'd like to see you. Well, tell him I'll be up in between innings. So I ran back up there. Well, DiMaggio wasn't in the clubhouse, so I opened up the door, and there was a great big blue Cadillac out in the door. So I went out there and in the no parking zone. Mm-hmm. And so I ran out there and went by the window at the driver's side, and I said, Mr. DiMaggio, help me out in between innings. And who's sitting right next to him but Marilyn Monroe?
Wow. How good did she look in person?
Well, she had sunglasses on, but she was very pretty.
I bet. Okay. Well, I just like to say thank you for giving us the opportunity to represent your stuff, and
well, I appreciate it very, very much, Will. I got so much stuff. And I'm getting old now, and I don't need to collect this anymore. So I asked my son if he'd like to have it. He says, Dad, I got no room for this stuff. So that's why I'm very grateful for you. When I got the pleasure of meeting you, and you came down, you said you had this auction. Okay, well, let's see if we can auction some of it off then.
Okay. Well, we'll go over some of the better items individually and get your memories on those, and we'll take it from there.